Shane Battier is out there with LeBron James, and it's Bosh in at the 5, roaming the paint. And for Chicago, the forward combination of Dunleavy and Gibson. Heinrich is out there with Jimmy Butler, and it's Noah in at the 5, and he gets the bucket.
Tell you what, it's hard to argue with the record for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it that the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with the hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you could put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
Here's Heinrich following the basket by Chris Bosh. Nothing there on the wing jumper from Heinrich. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Yes, Kevin, I spoke briefly with Eric Spoelstra. They're looking to break the tie on this season's series, and I asked him what he thought might be a key factor. He said it always seems to come down to getting a stop. We have to get our hands up to contest shots, or as we often do, even send them back. That's how we'll win this game. Sounds like a plan, Kevin.
Doris, thank you. It'll be interesting to see how that defensive mindset serves them here in the first half.
Yeah, it will be, Kevin, because if they come out with the right frame of mind and they don't have much success early, the game plan's going to have to change in a big hurry.
And even so, Steve, I think the defensive approach Doris talked about is exactly the one they should employ.
And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minutes, Steve, these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Will that wear them down? Their guys play too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
And it's out of bounds to the Heat as Miami retains possession. Here is Chalmers. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Golden State.
And Kevin, don't forget about his playmaking in that game as well. He was wonderful in terms of attacking the defense and figuring out when to shoot and when to find teammates. Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them, and free throws are better than a layup. Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls, and last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation, guys. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to light to the table.
And that one goes in, 2 from the line that time. And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, another family would take him in. It was a very tough upbringing down in the Houston area. He overcame tremendous odds. And to be where he is today with the great attitude after a short time at Marquette, it speaks volumes of his character.
Well, it sure shows in his play, doesn't it? I mean, just the way he hustles and draws fouls, rebounds, defends. He can guard multiple positions out there. You just love his overall game and his toughness and what he brings to this team.
Now here's Gibson after LeBron James's miss. Shot's good by Gibson.
Nice job again that time to add to their lead. I'll tell you what, they're doing everything right at this moment.
They're playing steadily in all aspects of the game, Steve. You're exactly right.
Chalmers with it. He's picked up by Heinrich. He had a nice open look right there.
Great awareness by Mario Chalmers on that feed.
Well, it was Miami winning their last game against Golden State.
How about the box score from that game? The accuracy from the three-point line, just remarkable.
Yeah, it was a stream of threes that allowed them to repeatedly deflate that crowd.
Now here's James. He really played well in that last game against Golden State. Wade passes to Bosh. Shot clock at 6. Wade against Butler. Wade can't hit. The Bulls leading by 5. Heinrich kicks to Butler. Passes it to Noah. Bosh with some nice D.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel at fighting through contact on his way to the rim.
1:15 left here in the opening quarter. Chalmers dishes to Wade. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist. Wade's got 5 now.
Little touch of class there, guys. The end of that play with the finger roll.
Here's Heinrich, and they cash in right away with the quick shot.
And and they have to mix it up defensively. That was just too easy.
The Heat trail by 5. James sets the screen for Wade. James with it, now guarded by Dunleavy. And they double him up with LeBron. Here's Wade, and he jams it with authority. He has a highlight reel unto himself, guys.
Yeah,
wow.
That could very well be a contender for Dunk of the Year and perhaps might make its way all over the internet.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Clark. That's a crowd pleaser if I've ever seen one.
And the Heat making a change here.
You know, Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra worked his way up from the very bottom in that organization. I mean, he got his start as a video coordinator and through years of hard work and dedication has really become an outstanding coach.
Now here's Gibson playing Brooklyn. He was nearly unstoppable. Augustine, that's good. We've got 22 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Here's Wade. Hit his leg. And they're saying he kicked the ball. Here's Wade. He's got 8. Wade, right side. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Wade's got 10.
Well, he wasn't phased at all by the bigger man on him, and on the low block, I thought he might be.
You know, Steve, I thought maybe he'd prefer to bring him out to the perimeter, but whatever works, go to it.
A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Bulls lead by 3. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. Tune in next Tuesday. And so far, it's been a closely contested game as we get the second quarter up and going. And a breakdown here, guys, the hustle stats for the Bulls.
You know, they've done a great job of getting a hand up on shooters. Actually have gotten a lot of blocks as well, solidifying that defensive effort.
And the other thing they're doing is forcing a lot of turnovers, and that's helping them to get easy points at the other end.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the court for the Heat, D-Wade, the 2, with Ray Allen at the 3. Chris Anderson out there with Odin, and it's Cole in at the 1. Three-pointer Augustine, that's good. Augustine's got the opening basket here in the second quarter for the Bulls.
He's got a nice stroke from long range, and you know he's not likely to pass up those opportunities when he gets them.
Cole, the pass to Wade. There's the dish to Cole. Shot clock at 6. Takes a shot at the elbow, and he hits the jump shot. And we've played just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. Now here is Augustine, covered by Cole. Feeds it to Augustine. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
And Cole kicks to Odin. Wide open look. And the shot no good, a bit short.
And the defense got away with a major lapse there.
Pass to Augustine. Butler against Allen. Three-pointer Augustine. And it's Wade with the rebound. Last game for the Bulls, they picked up the W against the Brooklyn Nets.
And there's no question what the overriding factor was in that game, Clark. It was the big edge they had on the glass.
Well, the level of energy they had in the win, Steve, was what impressed me. I mean, it was lacking on the other side, and it really showed through the rebounding numbers.
One thing with Wade that doesn't seem to be going away is his quickness off the dribble. He still has that devastating crossover. He may not be able to do it every night, but there are nights when he just looks like he's right in his prime.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
James dishes to Wade. Wade, right side. Misses the wing J. And Wade has a number of elusive moves, Clark, getting into the lane. He can hit the spin, the Euro step, which I love, by the way.
Yeah.
And the windmill crossover.
He's got it all. I mean, he's figured out how to get to that bucket. And I think the crossover is probably his custom move. Just as he changes directions, he swings the ball quickly over his head to the other side, avoiding the rip. And he makes it look so natural, you might think nothing of it. But youngsters around the league, go to school on that one. That's a heck of a move.
Yeah, so close to picking that pass off, guys.
At least he got a hand on it. He did what he needed to do to make sure it didn't hit the target.
Three-pointer, Heinrich. Rebound by the Heat. Victory eluded them last time in Chicago when they faced the Bulls.
Well, they were extremely aggressive defensively early on in that last game, and it kind of backfired on them. Their starters wound up in foul trouble, and I thought that led to the loss.
Augustine with it, now guarded by Mario Chalmers. Heinrich passes to Muhammad. He dishes it to Noah, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. It's on Chris Bosh. And to go back to Steve's point about foul trouble in that game, Clark, they had to give minutes to some players that ordinarily wouldn't be getting that many minutes.
Exactly, and that really stymied any hopes they had of coming back once they found themselves way behind in that second half, Kevin.
Ray Allen is checked in for Dwayne Wade.
You know, guys, when Noah came out of Florida, most people viewed him as just an energy guy or a role player, but I tell you what, I always saw him as a highly skilled player. He could pass it, he could put it on the floor, was smart defensively. He's shown that he can anchor a defense, and he contributes double-doubles on a nightly basis.
Heinrich kicks to Dunleavy. And a great assist by Heinrich as that one goes in. And the Bulls lead by 4. 59 seconds left in the first half of basketball. You know, for Noah Clark, as you were talking about, not just an energy guy, but Steve, he's a good ball handler. And he's a really good passer, for one thing. You know, atop the circle, he's got a great view of the floor, and he really can find the guy.
Yeah, well, it's so important these days to be able to make plays off of screen and rolls for a big guy to be able to catch at the foul line off that drop pass and then either score or find another shooter on the perimeter. Noah is good as anybody at that.
Here's Battier. No good with the triple.
Boy, they're fortunate. The defense was taking a big chance, leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
Heinrich dishes to Dunley. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Heinrich up top, defended by Allen. And Kirk Heinrich good for 3. Heinrich's got 9. 9 seconds left in the second quarter. James, the pass to Chalmers. Again, the miss by the Heat. That'll do it for the first half. It's Chicago up by 7. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Hey, Kevin. Well, Coach, with this type of ball game, what needs to happen in order for you to pull out a win tonight?
Well, we have to play through some of the tough times, okay, whether it's a missed call or whether missed shots. This is a passionate game, and we got to stay the course.
Coach, thank you so much. Guys, handling both adversity and prosperity, so crucial.
All right, Doris, thank you. And folks, make sure to stay tuned in for halftime, and we'll be back right after that.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Welcome to the 2K Sports Studios. Such great rivalry going on tonight. Let's check out how the first half has gone. Chicago with the lead against Miami. They're looking for another win as they try to improve their fourth-place standings in the conference. Getting it done early, Kirk Heinrich. DJ Augustine has also been a huge contributor. And a tough matchup, but the Heat staying afloat. They've been relentless attacking the rim, dominating in points in the paint, and the bodies down low have been banging away. Dwayne Wade with a tremendous first half. He's got a dozen points and has been very efficient, converting his shots into points with a nice field goal percentage. That'll be all for us here at the studios as we head back to the start of the third quarter with Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris. Thanks so much for joining me.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
The second half just about to get going here.
We've seen D. Wade getting it done. He has 12 points, and he has 1 steal to his credit as well.
But he's done a better job than the numbers indicate, really. I think he's been really sound defensively, and he's helped his club.
The Heat trail by 7.
You know, one of the things about the Heat since the Big Three has come together is that they've been able to find the right kinds of veteran players to step in and fill specific roles for this team as they've won a couple of championships now.
Inside, Gibson and Noah. Jimmy Butler is out there with Heinrich, and it's Dunleavy in at small forward. That's the 5 out there for the Bulls. Heinrich against Chalmers. Heinrich kicks to Butler. And the Bulls get it back. Shot's good by Gibson. Gibson's got his 3rd basket of the night.
Excellent execution of the plan there.
The Heat shooting with confidence, 50% from the field so far. And it's easy to have players want to join the Heat when they're competing for an NBA title every season. But, Steve, even then, they find the ones that most fit their offensive and defensive philosophy, and that's when they're going to come up big for them.
Yeah, for sure. This team has done such a good job putting together this roster around LeBron and Wade. You think about Birdman in the playoffs last year, Battier coming in here as a stretch 4. They've just found the right players and the right mix, and that's one of the big reasons why this team is back-to-back NBA champs.
Here's Butler. Offensive rebound. Noah. And finally they hit one. And the Bulls lead by 7.
He's a grinder. Love what he does under the offensive boards, really bringing energy and life to his team.
Bosch kicks to LeBron. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
You know, if there was no salary cap, no max contract in the NBA, you'd have to wonder what LeBron James would command for his salary. I mean, he clearly is worth more than the maximum you can pay him because he's so far ahead of everybody else in the league in terms of talent. I think Kevin Durant is probably the only one who comes close to him in terms of a guy of that size and that ability.
Here's Heinrich. Makes good on the step-back jumper. Heinrich's got 11 points. Into the 3rd we go. 2 minutes in now. The Heat trail by 7. And going back to the topic of max contracts, if those were higher relative to the cap, it might be harder to assemble the big 3 star trios we, for instance, see in Miami.
And, Kevin, I think that's where we're heading with the new CBA. It's going to be more and more difficult to put 3 max guys together. And so teams are kind of working their way through this new CBA, trying to figure out how they're going to structure their payrolls going forward.
The kick outside to Butler. Back to Heinrich. Bulls moving the ball around. And stolen by James. Wade left side. Pass to Chalmers. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. And it's Oden finishing it off.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
And Mario Chalmers gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. And the Heat with some changes. Allen's checked in for Oden. And it's Norris Cole in for Mario Chalmers. Now off the inbound. Anderson with the block. And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession. There's 1:54 left in the 3rd. Now here is Augustine. He's covered by Cole. 4 on the shot clock. Augustine off the pick from Gibson.
Here with the lead, they'd really like to finish this team off, but they just haven't knocked down the 3-pointers at the same percentage that they did in the first half here in the second. So we'll see what happens going forward.
Here's Butler. Muhammad dishes to Gibson. And the layup's good off the glass. Gibson's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, they certainly didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Well, that's important because this game, I think, is going to be decided by who controls the paint in crunch time.
Gibson against James. And he gets the bucket. LeBron's got 9 points here in the second half.
That's his brand of basketball, and he plays it as well as anyone. And as we get into crunch time, they need him at his best.
Gibson with the screen on Wade. The feed to Butler. Lets it fly. That one off the back iron and out. Miami trailing. Wade with it. Butler covering. Wade, good.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Chicago has gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Augustine off the pick from Muhammad. And stolen by LeBron. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Augustine against Wade. With his first shot attempt, and that one's good.
Well, he had that tight separation there on the mid-range jump shot. Really good job of taking advantage of that.
It's LeBron with the drive. He feeds it to Cole. 1 second left. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Bulls lead by 2. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return. And a worthy candidate tonight as we take a look at our State Farm assist of the game.
And the finish, guys, this is where you know you are right on the money with that pass. Look at that. Perfectly timed.
Chicago leading on the floor for Miami. Ray Allen and LeBron fill out the wings. Chris Bosh is out there with Shane Battier, and it's Chalmers in at the point guard. Here's Dunleavy, hits the jump hook. Dunleavy's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Bulls. The Heat trail by 4. Chalmers with it. Allen outside. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
Right there, we saw Bosh opened up space for the shooter. Well done.
Heinrich passes to Noah. Dishes it to Gibson. That's tipped. Noah kicks to Heinrich. That's good.
And their solid play in the paint continues, guys.
Well, that's been the focus, Clark, as we've watched. I mean, they've created one chance after another inside.
The drive by James. The teardrop falls in. James has got 11 points here in just the second half.
He's been much more effective in the second half than he was in the first.
Augustine dishes. And Augustine kicks to Heinrich. Lets it go with a 3. And good. Coming in on the assist by DJ Augustine.
And he had one in the first as well. He can be dangerous. Keep an eye on him.
Chalmers against Heinrich. Chalmers passes to Bosh. Misses off the left iron.
Looked like an easy 2 points right there.
You know he's kicking himself for that.
Heinrich with it. He's picked up by LeBron. And that one's good. And now an 8-point Chicago lead.
And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today.
A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve.
Chalmers with it. Now defended by Dunleavy. Chalmers against Heinrich.
Oh, how about that, basketball fan? Wow. Guys, that's simply superb. Ball pressure, a run out, and then a dunk in transition.
Exactly, Clark, what they wanted. The aggressive defense to lead to.
Yeah, points in transition.
Yeah, that's why you want to make the other team feel uncomfortable handling the ball, because you can get easy points out of it at the other end.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Kia. And the Heat call time here.
Well, good timeout, guys, because, this has been a bad run for them. He's got to get his team back on the same page and executing well together.
Sometimes just getting to stop in the action can be enough to get a team back on track. There's something about that little pause in the intensity of the game that lets you refocus.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. He told his team to keep looking for three-point opportunities, saying their perimeter defense isn't doing a good job getting out on our shooters. So let's keep firing away until they decide to guard us.
It's LeBron with the drive. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Well, it's an almost impossible task guarding him. He's so strong and quick. LeBron is like a locomotive bearing down. You see why teams have to give hard fouls to stop him, because a little bit of contact just is not going to be enough to stop him.
Hey, Steve, a lot of contact isn't enough to stop the freight train LeBron James. I mean, he draws so much attention defensively, but what makes him special is how he can punish a defense for overcommitting, because I think his greatest attribute amongst all of his great attributes is his passing ability.
Noah's shot is off.
Boy, they needed that last rebound. They haven't done well on the boards overall, but that one was huge.
Still fighting for the win here. Here's Battier, and he gets it to go.
You know, they'll want to generate more of those shots in tight, guys.
The Bulls leading by 8. Gibson dishes to Noah. Bosch grabs the miss. Bosch has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Wade on the wing, expanding his range. Joakim Noah grabs the miss. Chicago's gone 6 of 14 with the 3 ball tonight, just a little over 40%. Butler against Chalmers. Now here's Butler. Shot clock at 6. And he hits the jump shot. Butler's got the lead up to 10 now for the Bulls.
You got to feel pretty good about this win tonight, guys, defending their home floor.
Yeah, and just riding it out here now. I mean, they gave the fans what they wanted.
And a new group getting ready for Miami. Greg Oden, he's checked in for Bosch. Anderson comes in for Shane Battier. Allen's checked in for LeBron. And Cole subbed in for Mario Chalmers.
And his stroke has been dead on, inside, outside, wherever. The shot's just falling for him.
And Augustine kicks to Murphy. Lets it go from deep. Count the bucket. And the Bulls lead by 11.
Well, this is going to seal the deal. They've really exploded here to the finish line.
You know, once they sniffed out that blood in the water, the killer instinct came right out.
And it's Cole missing. Here's Anderson. Here's Oden. Keeps it alive. Muhammad pulls it in. Here's Butler. Offline. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. They put on a show tonight.